Well, now is almost 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna record this in case they call on my phone after I've asked for um, continuance. So that's just so that I have a record of anything that goes down, and apparently this is them. Hey, Vicky, come on. Hello. Yes. Did you get the message from yesterday?
I did, but I just got it, so we need to discuss it. And I'm going to have Ramsey County get on the line also, okay?
Okay. I think it's better we can get the papers together, and I'd like to get them to agree to show up in person.
You can't force them to show up in person. They decide how they're going to, defend their case, defend the appeal. So we'll talk about it. Let me get Ms. Phillips on the line, okay? Can you hang on?
All right. She said she just got it.
Yeah, well, she would. She's got to call in. She'd have to get her messages.
So they did, in fact, call. Here they are.
Mr. and Mrs. Carlson, are you there?
Yes.
And Ms. Phillips, are you there? Yeah.
Who's Miss Phillips? Can you tell me?
Just hang on. Let me start a recording of this. Okay, this is Ellen Longfellow, Human Service Judge for the Minnesota Department of Human Services. This call is about docket number 185231, an appeal by Victoria Carlson about a decision made by Ramsey County. It's March 15th, 2017, and the time is 10 o'clock a.m. And present are the appellant, Victoria Carlson, and her husband, Stephen Carlson. For Ramsey County is Ebony Phillips. What's your title, Ms. Phillips? I'm a lead worker with Ramsey County. Is there anybody else with you? No, ma'am. Okay, so before we get going, let's talk about the appellants have requested an in-person hearing and to reschedule it. And the reason for rescheduling is that you misplaced the papers, is that right? Or you do not have the appeal summaries anymore?
That is true that I don't have it. That's not the total reason. You combined two questions there. One was the reason, and one was the in person. What order do you want to take that in?
Okay, first I want to know why you feel that you should have it rescheduled. You had a month-long notice. Why at the last minute have you asked for it to be rescheduled?
Okay. Well, first of all, this started last November, I believe, perhaps even a little earlier than that. Probably in October, yeah. She was cut off from her SAGE, that's the breast cervical cancer medical assistance, and it's SAGE is the program for low-income people that have cancer. She's still undergoing treatment. So in the
I really don't want to hear the substance of it. I just want to
okay.
hear the basis for the rescheduling.
All right. Well, if you go through the procedure, they restored it, they cut it off, they restored it, we appealed, and they restored it, and then so we come up to December 14th where we get a phone call from, I believe her name is Who's the other lead worker again here? You know her name? I have to find the name. All right. I think it's Delphina Reynolds. That's what it is. Okay, so it's a phone call from Delphina Reynolds while we're bell ringing for the Salvation Army. That's our job. And we were working, and all of a sudden she said, well, she sent something to us, and there's this hearing coming up on Tuesday. Well, we told her, well, we haven't received that. And part of the problem here, Judge, is...
I know that you didn't receive the notice of that hearing. You didn't show up. It was dismissed. You asked for reconsideration, and the head of our department found the valid reason, so he remanded it.
Right. Yeah.
The notice is now in February for this hearing today.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to focus on. Why do you need to reschedule this hearing today that was scheduled in February?
Sure. Well, it was rescheduled without the papers. Okay, and so the other thing is, again, your office...
Are you telling me that you never received the summary at all now? Or did you receive the summary, the agency's summary?
If they haven't changed it since November, we didn't receive it with the notice in February. And what I was trying to say to you, if you allow me to say it, is that, again, your office sent this notice to the wrong mailbox. And they're very aware we have a post office box where all of our correspondence has taken place. But when you get into these hearings, I guess you call them, all of a sudden they don't send you there anymore, and they send it... Unfortunately, there is a bunch of mailboxes here in this apartment. We've never trusted it, and that's why during some previous litigation, I got a mailbox, and they are fully advised of it, and you should be fully advised because they sent the address to you and saying, please send the notice to our mailbox. So we did not receive it, except very accidentally. Now, the other part of that is that the only reason I believe that we even looked in there, it is because there was a pest problem that came up. And so we got some things in the mail about that, and we had to take a lot of action, moving things around, cleaning, basically just moving things around in order to deal with that. And so...
What is the address? Is it P.O. Box 4032?
Yeah, that's where we don't get it. They're sending it. Here's what happened. We live in 55102, but they shut down that post office box maybe 2-3 years ago. And so we simply changed our address to the 55101, which is over by the U.S. Bank building where we get our mail, and that's where 4032 is. Somebody sends it, I guess, send it to our street address. And
538 St. Peter Street?
yeah, and we don't get mail here, and we've told everybody, and they're very aware of that. In fact, in the last problem, what happened was they actually sent us mail to the mailbox, so we knew they had it, but then they sent just the things to do that would give us notice to this street address, and because there's no post office box, it's been shut down. And ours is over in 55101. For some reason, even though I've repeatedly talked to the post office about it and have filed the requisite changes of address, they keep giving it to this mailman, certain things only. Like maybe I would say about less than 10 items over a year, and I think far less than that, to come here. So if we had not been looking...
Hang on a minute. So when did you get this notice of the hearing today?
Well, we got it out about March 1st, maybe like the 28th or 26th of February, and we needed to get on the phone and talk with the management of the apartment about this other issue, and it became...
Did you try and contact Judge Mulcree at that time?
I'm sorry?
Did you try and contact Judge Mulcree at that time about the hearing?
When we first got it, No, I didn't. I didn't think it would be. I thought that. Well, I've got several things that I have to do here. I've been involved in the election, etc. You probably know. Um, but at that point, I felt that we would call and talk about whatever you have. However, it's not a real hearing because it started in November. They sent notices to the wrong place. They know they did that, and they expect that we're supposed to go along with that. They're going to call that due process. And I felt that we should talk here. I don't think we're prepared to do a full hearing, and perhaps that's not what the state wants. Can I ask you this? Is there further appeal to the courts after this?
Yes, you can appeal this to the district court.
And I suppose that this would be part of the substance. I would like to hear the answer from the other side as to why they wouldn't do it in person. Part of the thing is we have repeatedly asked.
Let's stop for a minute. Okay, so you got
Okay.
that in wisely, and then you request if I granted it in person, you would have to come here to the Lafayette Building in downtown St. Paul.
Right.
Could you do that?
Yeah, we can do that. And I just want to say that we have repeatedly asked for in person too. So when I saw there was going to be a phone, you're talking about phone, I figured, well, we're going to have to talk about that. And I just think that having, first of all, most of their papers are irrelevant. What we want to focus on is why women, when apparently.
Okay, I don't want to talk about the substance.
Sure. Oh, okay.
So let me give Ramsey County a chance to respond. Okay, Ms. Phillips? Yes. Okay, so does Ramsey County take any position about rescheduling it a couple weeks from now? I don't see why there should be a problem. As far as I understand, though, the county would still be here at Ramsey County at the time of the new appeal. That's correct. It would still be. Well, you could choose. I can grant them an in-person where they show up in person, and you could respond by telephone. That's what we would do. Is that what you would do? Okay, so that would be okay with you? That would be fine. Okay, so Mr. Carlson, Mrs. Carlson, and Ms. Phillips, could you check the schedule? Would the 29th of March be available?
29th of March, Vicki? Will you look at your calendar, Vicki? I'm asking Vicki, look. She also wants me to say that she wants a change of caseworker because we've had problems, as we get into the substance. And I know she just wants me to say that.
Can you take that kind of request? Ms. Phillips? We typically don't change financial workers just at the request. Financial workers will change when somebody's moving to a different department or something like that. But
Yes, 29th.
usually we don't take personal client requests for new workers. Okay. Okay.
It's okay.
I do have a question, Ms. Phillips, if possible. Sure, go ahead. I would like to clarify for myself that the Carlsons, did you receive the state agency appeal summary that was mailed out? There has been no change to the summary, so using the original summary that was written up back in November of 2016.
Well, I'd like to get a copy of it so that we have it right in front of us. I have actually worked with that. By the way, I didn't receive it at our mailbox. That was another thing where the management comes and bangs on the door and says, "Hey, your mailbox is getting full." Vicki goes down there, the post office guy is there, and he gives her these. And we realized that you'd sent it to that address. So we did obtain a copy of that and actually used it in some correspondence to this office and to you. So, because you finally...
If you would like another copy, you no longer have access to that one. Again, it has not changed. It is the same summary.
That's fine. Yeah, I would like to get access, and I can walk over to the office and get it, in Ramsey County office. That's not a problem if you could provide that.
Or do you want them to send it to the post office?
No. If they can just make it available, let me just walk over and get it. You know, it's about 2 blocks from where our post office is anyway. I,
Post office boxes, just to make sure that that we have the correct address as well. I can make sure that I can make it available to you. You can just come down to the lobby and
right,
request it.
right. But the address, as you have sent so much correspondence to, is Post Office Box 4032, and it's in St. Paul 55101.
4032, so 4032, yes?
Correct.
PO Box 6032, St. Paul 55101.
4032 St. Paul 55101.
Yeah, and I do see in my file that, there was some, in December 2016, Ramsey County had that address for them.
Right.
But I do see that the original summary in November was sent to their street address.
Yeah, and that was a problem. And of course, we were just getting into the Salvation Army. We do that every year. We bell ring for them, and it's a fairly big deal, so it's a pretty bad timing. And actually, on the 15th, I was out bell ringing, but we had already talked to the office and asked to reschedule it.
Okay, so it sounds like they're going to make it available for you. So what about the date? Is
The 29th is good for Vicky and I.
Unfortunately, I do not have access to my calendar. Is the 29th a Monday? No, it's a Wednesday. It's a
Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
The 29th of this month. March. Don't believe that's going to work. Wednesday, April 5th? Wednesday, April 5th. Yes, I think that would
April
work.
5th, Vicky? Just a moment. I'm sure it will. Vicky's getting her calendar again.
Or April 12th. Would April 12th work also?
She's getting her calendar.
Miss Phillips, would April 12th work? Also a Wednesday? Yes. I think I can make April 12th work.
Did you lose your calendar?
Sorry, no, I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
Vicky, did you lose your calendar already?
How about Thursday the 13th?
Yeah.
I believe that would work.
Okay, now Vicky, what now? Any of those days? It's 5th,
This is my fiscal.
5th, 12th, 13th. All of those work for you?
Now we're talking about the 5th and the 13th.
Okay, 5th and 13th. Those both work for you?
Fifth.
She'd like the 5th.
Okay. Well,
She'd like to take the 5th. I'm sorry.
The 13th works. Would the 13th work? If the
Would it?
13th is available?
No, it wouldn't. Why is that, Vicky?
Because I might work that day.
Oh, she might be working that day. See, she had pneumonia on Christmas Eve day, so she was that bell ringer really, messed her up. So she's just getting back some part-time work now.
Okay, quick question. I'm noticing that you had said something about work, would you be available for me to call you in regards to that?
What do you mean?
I don't have access to your file right now because I am not in front of a computer, so I just want to make sure that we have everything that's current, and I don't know if that's something that we have record of, is that there's a job.
I don't know. Now this is Phillips,
Correct, yes.
and the issue is that Vicky takes part-time work.
Yes, I would like to find out more about that, and I was
I,
wondering if you're
if you don't mind, I would like to exclude that from this proceeding, and that you contact us some other way. You can send it to our mailbox, whatever your concerns are. We would comply with that. Although I want to point out that under the breast cervical cancer program, she did have work, and that which we argue that she is entitled to right now, and that's not a problem and does not affect the availability. This entire thing that you're doing with the $500 spend down, which is what I assume you're tracking work for,
I don't want to talk about the substance.
I don't either. So I
Save that for the hearing. We're just talking about rescheduling it.
right, and I don't want to talk about anything else that's substance.
Let's talk about the fifth.
Okay.
Does the county have this different
Yeah. This is where Delphina Reynolds would always call me, and if you look at the report, she said she always talked to me.
Okay, because that's not the phone number on the appeal summary, so that's what I was wondering.
Well, and about that, she lost her phone because these guys cut off her medical assistance. So when she went to apply, she doesn't have medical assistance right now. So that was a phone for that, and that's gone. It doesn't work anymore.
Do you want the county to have this telephone number so that they can contact you if they have any?
I would like them on this, particularly on this matter, to contact us in writing at the post office.
Reynolds, if you have a question, you can contact them at the P.O. Box number. Yes, I will contact them at the P.O. Box number with any questions.
Yeah, and again, we're not having this appeal about how they administer Medicare. We're talking about the medical assistance under SAGE when women reach 65. So I don't want to discuss about things that they assume or try to put in the record that, she's on Medicare or something.
Do they want the
So, are you going to submit any documents at the hearing, Carlson?
I believe so.
Some of the letters that you've written?
Just a moment. Vicky tapped me on the arm. I need what there?
Do they want the 13th or what?
Do you want the 13th or you want the 5th?
Do they want the 13th? Is that what they
Why? You would not work that
It
day?
doesn't matter.
She said it doesn't matter as far as the date. So when did you come up with the 5th?
Well, 5th and 13th, and this is for my schedule.
Okay.
I have a potential
Very good.
one of those weeks, so I was going to check my schedule.
Okay. And then you'll mail it out?
I'll send out a notice for either the 5th or the 13th. So what I'm saying is I got the appeal summary, Ramsey County, you don't
Right.
have any additional
Don't tap me.
material besides the appeal summary?
Right. I was going to try to answer that too, and I got tapped on the shoulder there, distracted. Yes, we have bills that she's been forced to pay when she's supposed to, even some cancer treatment bills, that because they continually throw her off, she'd had to pay. And so I want to enter that into the record because it's not the way the program's supposed to operate, SAGE.
Okay, so what I'm saying is could you make copies of anything that you want to introduce at the hearing and deliver it to the county?
Yes.
So she has it before the hearing?
Yeah, and you said Phillips now, because I noticed before you said Reynolds, but it's Phillips, right?
Phillips is the one who's handling it.
Right.
Who's Reynolds?
So could they just drop it off and with your attention to your name, Ms. Phillips? Yes, that would be just fine. It's Ebony Phillips, E-B-O-N-Y.
E-B-O-N-Y, okay, sure.
C-O-N-Y, and Phillips is P-H-I-L-L-I-P-S.
Sure. Yeah, and I'll just put that in the little Dropbox there.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Thank you.
And then I just have a question for the judge. Do you need, is it okay that we're using this appeal summary write-up with, or would you like me to change just the name? The summary itself will continue to be the same. There will be no changes, but would you like me to change the address for the client and sign it myself, or is it okay to continue just using it as is, since it is a rehearing? I think I've got the summary, and I got your summary. You don't want to do any update, there's no update. I mean, she's been off with medical assistance now since the fall. Unless there is something that needs to be addressed in regard to that, I don't feel that there is a need to do an update on the summary. Okay, that's fine. Then you get the summary to them, and when I've got the summary, and the Carlson, you get whatever documents you want to submit, you get them to the county before the hearing, and then you bring them with you to me.
Okay.
For the hearing. And I will get a notice out. The other thing I guess is a little bit uncertain. I have to schedule a room.
Right.
And I have no idea what the room schedule is, so hopefully there will be a room available on those dates also.
All right.
That's a variable, so.
All right.
Okay, so the plan is that we'll schedule it for either April 5th or April 13th, depending on the room availability and my schedule. And you will get the documents to the county. The county, if they want to contact you, will contact you through your PO box number.
Yes.
And we'll have a hearing on that date.
And you too, right?
You'll be in person, Carlson, and the county has chosen to be on the telephone.
And so you also will send a notice to our PO box, right?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you both for participating in this, and we'll talk to you at the hearing date when I send the notice out.
And you're Ellen Longfellow, Judge Ellen Longfellow?
That's right.
Okay. I just heard on the phone yesterday and I forgot after this. So. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you both.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, bye.
Okay, now just hold it here.